In this video, we will cover selecting the appropriate tag to place, tagging elements, and adjusting tag properties. In the ground floor electrical plan view, several components have been placed. We can now tag these components. On the Annotate ribbon, in the Tag panel, there are several tag tools that can be used on the MEP side. Tag by Category will tag individual components, whereas Tag All will tag multiple components, either all the components of a specific category or all the components that are selected. There are also tools to place room tags and space tags. Let's start with Tag by Category. When you activate this tool, there are several options on the options bar. To begin, click Tags. This opens the Loaded Tags and Symbols dialog. Here, you can see the tags that will be used for the various categories of elements. For example, for electrical equipment, the panel name tag will be used, and for electrical fixtures, the electrical device circuit tag will be used. If there are multiple loaded tags, you can click in the field and expand the drop-down and select the appropriate tag. If the tag you want to use is not available, you can click Load Family and then load the tag into the project. I'll click OK for now. Next, in the Options bar, you can choose whether or not to include a leader. I'll deselect this option, and then I'll move the cursor over components in the model. As I move over various components, you can see different tags populate in the model. And if I click, a tag is placed. If I want to include a leader, I can select Leader in the Options bar. I can then choose whether the leader has an attached end or a free end. With attached end selected, you can simply click and a tag will be placed with a leader. With free end selected, you can click to place the end of the leader, and then you can click again to place the elbow location, and then click again to place the tag. I'll click Modify to end the command. With the tag still selected, I can adjust the end of the leader or the elbow with the dot controls. Since this tag was placed with the free end, there's a dot control at the end, and you can use it to place the tag leader location wherever you want. The tag that was placed with an attached end does not have a dot control at the end. It remains attached to the component depending on where the tag is located. You can still adjust the elbow location and the tag location. And if needed, you can change the leader options in the options bar. You can remove the leader altogether, or you can change it to a free end. Additionally, when you click Edit Type, you can choose a leader arrowhead, as well as specify any other type properties that have been created for the family. When you click on the leader arrowhead field, you can expand the drop-down and select an arrowhead. I'll choose one of the arrow options and then click OK. When I do, an arrow has been added to all tags of this type that are using a leader. So you have to be aware when you are enabling or modifying type properties. Next, on the Annotate ribbon in the Tag panel, I'll click Tag All. This opens the Tag All Not Tagged dialog. In this dialog, I can select a category of elements to tag all components of that category. For example, I'll select lighting fixture tags and then click OK. When I do, the tags have been placed on all the lighting fixtures that were not previously tagged. Back in that dialog, be aware that you can change the tag that's used. And so if the appropriate tag was not selected, you could click Undo and then select that. I'll click cancel, and then I'll zoom in here to the electrical room. I'll use a window and select the electrical panels and transformer along with other components here in the model, and then I'll switch to the Annotate ribbon and click Tag All again. This time, since I have components selected, the option Only Selected Objects in Current View is available. I'll leave that selected, and then I can choose the categories to tag, and only the components that are selected that match those categories will be tagged. For example, I'll select Electrical Equipment Tags, and then I'll click OK. And when I do, the panels that I had selected and the transformer that I had selected are tagged. Once again, I can select that tag and move it as needed and adjust any of the tags after they have been placed. I'll select a tag and then click Edit Family in the contextual ribbon. This opens the tag in the Family Editor. It's important to understand which parameters are being tagged. In this case, there is a label, and tags are made up of labels. You can select the label and then click Edit Label, and you can see which parameters are being used in the tag. In this case, the panel name is being used. And if needed, I can add additional parameters from the electrical equipment category. I'll click Cancel to close the dialog, and then I'll deselect the label. Be aware of the Rotate With Component parameter. When this option is selected, then the tag will rotate with the component. So in this case, if the electrical equipment was on a wall that was angled, it would rotate along with it. Since it's deselected, I can choose for this tag to be either horizontal or vertical. When I select the label, you can see additional parameters in the Properties palette. You can choose to wrap between parameters, and so that's if we had multiple parameters added to this label, we could choose to wrap between them, and then you can control the horizontal and vertical alignment, and then you can choose whether or not to keep the label readable. And so what that does is if the tag is rotated beyond 45 degrees, it will flip so that it will maintain readability. And then you can choose whether or not the label is visible, and so that's useful if you have multiple labels in a tag and you want to have multiple tag types. So as you can see, there are multiple ways to create tags and tag components to help customize your documentation.